Hey there, everybody. It's Kevin from Kevin's Camping Adventure here in the low budget production studio. Welcome to an episode of Channel Chat. It's been a long time since I've done one of these. Life's been busy, but I'm here today on this episode. The purpose of this episode was because I did a bug out test. Yes, a bug out test. And to see how far and how long it would take me to get to what I thought was going to be my primary location of hiding out. I took about 5 to 10 minutes to load up my bag. Most of it was already done. Just to mentally say, hey, I gotta get the hell out of here. Get the fuck out of Dodge. Whatever. You know, it's cold out. Beanie, gloves, face protection, warm clothes-ish. And how long it would take me and how far is that location. I knew that taking option A was going to be more exposure to the world. That's what I was avoiding purposely. Hence the bug out. So I went with option 2. Option 2 would have taken me a straight line through the woods, into more woods, so on and so forth. Yeah. And thinking about it, because it's autumn and it's been raining and everything is wet, knowing that it is wetlands. Okay, what's flooded? How much is it flooded? Head out, and I start going. And I come up, try to get to a semi-high spot without going off course too terribly much. And it was wet. Extremely wet. Flooded. So I had to switch gears and go from south to east. Now going east, there's some residential I'll be going behind. And I can't continue to go south right at that moment because it was all wet. And at the end of this wooded area is the city park that's got 10 miles of mountain bike trails and about 5 miles of hiking trails. Get there towards the parking lot. Before I hit the parking lot, there's a car with family getting out. Yay. 2 dogs. Shit. And with this in my pack, I put my hatchet in and I put it inside my bag from the outside. Hit the trail, jogger comes out, kind of looks at me funny, but says hi when I replies when I say hi to him first. Start walking in. Family comes out with a little dog, and they look at me kind of cross-eyed. Say hi, how you doing? Continue on my way. The family that I'm kind of following inadvertently, we come to the fork. I'm thinking continue south, please continue south, because I need to go west. And they go west. Damn it. Why did this have to happen? Because it's all a test. Now, I've got to tell you, it was a bright sunny day at 2:15 in the afternoon, and nobody had to work. So all of that right there kind of was against me. But at the same time, it was a test for me still. But in the process, I was still looking for other ways to get around them without being seen. Unfortunately, it was, again, all soaking wet. And I get past them, I find my opening, and I'm long gone before they have a chance to catch up to me. Somewhere during this hike, I nicked my finger or my hand on a thorn and it's bleeding. And that's when I realize I don't have first aid with me. Strike number one. Then as I continue on a little bit further, I then realize I don't have my primary compass. That is strike number two. But I was able to remember that in this bag, I do have my neck knife with its button compass. So I was okay. Not great, but okay. Had the rest of my C's all covered. I was good with that. I made sure I remembered everything else. I even had a little bit of some snack food. I had coffee, blah, blah, blah. So I have to cross the railroad tracks to get to this location. I cross. And first thing that happens is when I look about 50 to 100 yards, and as far as I can see, I'm already getting a bad feeling. A bad feeling, which we all know is good, but can also be false, which I was hoping for the latter. Hiking there as quiet as I can, as cautious as I can, and I notice what looked to be a tarp. Then I thought, oh, it was the bark from the tree, which would have been odd if I had actually been thinking, but no, it was actually a tarp that somebody had placed and used as a camp. So that was, at that point, I stop a far enough distance away so I can grab my hatchet out, pulled out my, set up my phone in a way to where I could record what I was doing, where I was going, and if anything were to happen. Good thing is that nobody was there and nothing did happen. Didn't meet anybody. But at the same time, because I looked closely at it, it was only one tarp with two crates that were already there. There was a lot of stuff that was already there because it was a homeless camp before. Maybe somebody cleaned it up, put a hunting blind up in a tree, took it down. I camped there, and now I don't know what it is. The only other thing I could that I was chalking it up to was that train hoppers were there, which I'm hoping that that's the case, because next time the trains come through here, I'm gonna actually go sneak over there and see if I can find anybody. Anyway, but that whole experience had my gears going. It made me realize what I did have, what I needed to have, and what I needed to do. Now, from there to that location, from my house, it was approximately 2 miles, and my pack was about 30 pounds. And I was going at a pretty good clip, maxed at about 3 miles an hour. And I got there in about 40 minutes, sorry. I got to that spot in about 40 minutes, even going through the woods and hiking over terrain, which, in my opinion, that's pretty good. And then hiking back home, I did a complete circle, mostly flat land. Another 2 miles still took me about 40 minutes. With that being said, when I looked at this first location A, I don't think I'll be going back there to camp just because there's too much activity. 2, I'm going to have to figure out another location for another spot to, hunker down for, maybe a night or something like that. I have one in mind. This is a suburban area that I live in. I know a lot of preppers and survivalists focused more on urban or actual wilderness. In the suburbs, it's a combination of both, because we do have some wooded areas, but we also have to watch out that there are homeless people that float around here. I'm not, and they like to hide out. And I learned that because the following day my legs and hip were in so much pain from this experience that I do need to probably focus a little bit more on physical fitness. Is it an experience that I would repeat? Most definitely. If anybody out there does any type of prepping of any sort, I would highly recommend that you do this maybe once or twice. I've seen guys do cache buckets. The only problem is with, depending on the location, is how often it's already visited, which I've learned that the location that I was at has been visited multiple times. Camping out in this woods in the city, I probably could do, especially if there's shit that's hitting the fan, depending on the time of year. But yeah, there's, like I said, a lot of things that I learned about myself, a lot of things that I could not expand on, but improve on. There's always room for improvement. Anyway, with that being said, if any questions, comments, concerns, well, you know what you can do with your concerns. 1-800. Yeah. No. If you liked it, throw me a thumbs, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, thank you for checking out my channel chat today. Hopefully there'll be more to come. Again, thank you again. I want you to stay safe and peace.